Hello everyone, I have a package. Let's open this package. I'm Troublesome Junction. I'm bringing you a haul video. One of these has not been made by me in quite some time. Let's see, can I get it open? Yes I can. This is quite a special haul video because I don't think a lot of people are going to believe this. So yeah, I have more ERTL Gold Rail engines. Got an Edward here, but I already do have an Edward. This one is one of the tank engine twins. Why is he wrapped up and the other one is not? What? Is he something different? I don't see anything, but here's a Bill Boy. There's Bill. We got our good pal Thomas with that horrible face that they gave him. But nice body. And then this one is Ben Gay. Right here. Just unravel him. So, there's he. We're going to be reviewing each and every one of these boys. But first, a bit of the story behind these guys. I was on eBay, just, you know, casually looking for stuff to review and all that. Then, it hits me. I see a bid, like an eBay auction, for these guys. One person bidded on it. And then I pulled an eBay shark and bidded on it last 7 seconds. I know I'm against eBay sharks, but hey, this was well worth it. I got all these guys for $1. In fact, I will put an image of it up right now. So, $1 for 4 ERTL Gold Rail engines. That's pretty good, I will not lie. So, first off, let's take... Oh, sorry, Edward. Let's take a look at good old Thomas. So yeah, his paintwork's really well done. There's a little mark at the top of it, but that's probably from previous owner. Really well done, really smooth, not bumpy like how some of the Bandai Tech ones were, like my Splatter and Dodge. The buffers are still intact, which is something that is somewhat uncommon on these guys, to still have their buffers on. This magnet feature I will go over a little bit, but a lot of people who are probably watching this video are more than likely familiar with these boys. That face, I do not like this face. In fact, the Nakayoshi, which is basically like the closest you can get to these guys, nailed the face, while this one, yeah, it fails to deliver in a sense. So comparing these two, the Gold Rail one is bigger, of course. Now this guy, I did modify him. This is the one you typically see in my skit videos that I make. And I gave him a white running board. I still need to go through and like get rid of these white paint splotches on the side. But yeah, I gave him a splash of white there. But that's not the point of the video. So looking at it heads on, this guy definitely has better detail on the running board because you can see there. This one does not have a headlamp and the lamp irons, while this one does. And then this is actually really weird. If you can see that there, especially look towards here, yeah, those red lines are separate detail. That's a full thing of plastic in there. Like, I think if you look into the cab, you can see it maybe, but it won't show up through camera. But this is all separately applied. This is not painted on here or stickers like how the Nakayoshi had it. That is separate, and that's really, really weird of why ERTL would do that. So yeah, if you haven't noticed, this is pretty much like the American version of the Bandai Tech range, but they do not have the coupling rods on the side. But nonetheless, the detail was amazing. So this one, the Gold Rail, is a lot skinnier than the Nakayoshi one, and the whistles look a bit taller, but they do look better. Like, look at those, look at the whistles. And they're properly painted. Do we get that today, boys and girls? In fact, we don't even get whistles. We get 2 little stumps. Like, what the fuck, Mattel? Come on now. So now putting them on the sides. This one, the little vent air, not really a vent, but the grills over here are indented into it. This is just basically all the detail on this is a sticker. It even comes out into like that weird little lip that it has at the end of it. This one does not have that. It just comes to a corner. And yeah, it does look really nice indeed, gotta admit. Now, moving on to the year date on this guy. There it says ERTL, Dyersville, Iowa, and it won't focus in on here, but it says 1993 right there, that little blurb at the end. So that is the Thomas. Now moving on to Edward, which I do have 2 of them. Now this one is in better condition because this one I got for Christmas, and no, I am not selling either of these. So these 2, I do basically have 2 of them, but I'll review this one though. But there's something I will point out. This one is missing a buffer right there. And this one has both of them. But this one's magnet was completely shot off, but this one still has his. So that's that, I suppose. The face, I mean, it does look really nice, I gotta admit. The side detail, it's perfect. This is what Edward should look like. The nice 6 wheels at the back of the back for the tender. There's a little switch on the back. I'll explain what that does at the end. Coal load, I forgot to mention this on Thomas, but there's the coal load there. It's actually really nice. The Gold Rail range / Bandai range did a really good job modeling that coal. The wheels, they look great as usual. The golden rails, these are not silver. They were basically all golden except for on Bill and Ben for some reason. Don't know why, but hey. So I already talked about the face, looks really nice. The running board has the lamp irons on them, lamp iron hooks. And that's something that a lot of toys don't really have. Oh, hit the camera a little bit there. Proper amount of wheels. None of that bullshit that Mattel does nowadays where they just give him 6 wheels on all of his merchandise. He properly has 8 wheels to form that 4-4-0 wheel configuration. I believe he's based upon I want to say a 49X model, a D49 model. I can't think of the name right now. I think it's a D49X model. I can't think of it. Oh well though. So here is the other side. Looks basically the same. Now this detail is engraved into it like it's not engraved, what's the proper word? It's like molded into it. There. It's like casted into the guy. So it basically sticks out a little bit and it's painted red. Thomas, that's really unique, but it's kind of weird, I suppose. A little scuff mark right there. The number 2 is properly applied. The windows, on all the windows, well these ones aren't hollow, but still, they're still there. Everything about Edward is still here. In fact, what I would do is maybe replace this face with a CGI Edward face, because this is probably one of the best toy models of Edward that has ever come out. Not counting the Bachman one, but this is like toy-wise, this is basically perfect. It has everything about Edward. That face, I mean, it's not accurate to today's standards, but for classic Edward and what he is, it is quite accurate. In fact, I will put an image of what his face looks like right about now. So yeah, this guy, absolutely amazing, I gotta say. Now moving on to the Tank Engine Twins. I figure I should just review both of them at the same time, because fuck it. So, weirdly enough, they tried to capture the piston detail, but still didn't give him any coupling rods. Don't see why they did that, but hey. I guess they wanted to keep the molding the same. How I believe it went was Bandai was the one who made the molds for these guys, but then to get these to the US, they licensed them through ERTL, so they just reused the molds. Now these guys I'm really happy to have, because the only Bill and Ben diecast model I have is my normal ERTL factory error Ben. You can see down there, he has the focusing in right there, but below his face it says Brendan Bay. There it is. It's supposed to say Brendan Bay at the top right there, like where that is, but it's not focusing in, and they got printed down there. But these guys look great. I mean, this one's a bit dusty. Ben has the big dust on him, and he does have a strange plastic fatigue mark. I absolutely hate that. One thing I did hate about these models was their buffers. I thought it was really clever of how they integrated it into the molding, but they were flimsy as fuck. They should have just molded it in to the plastic on here. They didn't even have to paint them. No one would really care. The buffers, they do look accurate, but for children, they would more than likely break off. Here's the side detail though, looks really nice. The proper cab detail. The back part looks a bit big, but that's because of this magnet. I'll explain what that does later. And there it says the Soda China Clay Company. Weirdly enough, comparing it to the ERTL one, this one got all the colors right, but this one is missing the mark. But the font color is wrong. This should be a light sort of highlighter yellow, much like the ERTL one. And then it even says that where it says Brendan Bay on the faces of them, which is very strange indeed. Now this one properly has the coupling rods, but it's a whole different range, I suppose, so yeah. Year dates on these guys. This one says 1993, and this one says 1990. So I guess all these guys came out at around 1993. Really, really nice indeed. The faces, now that's what Bill and Ben should look like. The ERTL face, I mean, it was pretty weird. It didn't exactly look like them, especially because they emphasized the outline of his eyes, which is really weird. But this right here are the cheeky faces that everyone's used to. I'll put a picture of that up once again about now. Just look at those faces. That screams the cheeky bastards of Bill and Ben, of what the characters are. Now, I don't quite like how the buffers sort of get cut. So that's one of the aspects where I wish that they had just molded in the buffers, much like they did with the narrow gauge engines, like a Scarloey and Sir Handel. Their buffers were molded to the red section. They weren't painted, but who gave a shit? They were sturdier. Top detail right here does look really nice once again, but the whistle is strange. It just plopped right there. It's not painted. I mean, but can you really blame them? It's just a little black nub. In fact, I don't even like it there, to be honest. I think it's a bit weird. But that's not the point, I suppose. These guys overall, they're some of the best Bill and Ben models we've ever gotten. Because a lot of them really do miss the mark, especially the classic series ones. We've gotten some very questionable merchandise. But hey, I think that all of these guys really do hit the nail directly on the head when it came to making these guys. Well, except for that fucking Thomas face. That is not Thomas. That's just nightmare fuel. Look at this thing. It's just staring into your soul. But these guys all together, I would give basically all of them a 9 out of 10. There are minor gripes such as the buffers being quite flimsy and easy to break, but the deep and the faces are not always accurate, but then you got some that are really good. But that's what I have to say about that. But there's one feature that I need to point out, right, of why this range was so genius. This little nub right here, as you noticed, it moved this magnet back and forth. So it'd couple it up if it's in that position, right? You'd flick it, and it demagnetizes it. You would pull these boys along, and then if you want to uncouple them, they're basically like slip coaches. You would move the magnet, little switch, and then the magnets would decouple. That's why I find this range so ingenious. Of course, it had to have been Japan to think of this, because us in America, we can't do shit right when it comes to making good toys anymore. But that's all I have to say about this video. These guys, I'd highly recommend these guys, in fact. Maybe find a Thomas that has a different face, though. Or maybe even just go for the Nakayoshi, but that guy, that's fucking nightmare fuel, to be fair. So, gotta move this guy over. Gotta put both my Eddie boys there. So, that is all I have to say in this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel, because once again, we are almost at that 200 mark. Slowly getting there. So thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys on the flip side.